I will tell you this, I'm very proud of the new generation, the crop of new generation. It went through two phases. One, mass production, in which the new generation felt that, in fact, they accused us of not helping them. And we told them, listen, you have to work, and it's between you and editors. Editors are not there to pamper you. They are there in business. If you don't write what they think will sell, there's nothing we can do. We are not publishers. We are not business people. And then your generation sat up and actually began to produce some very solid works. Recently, I was able to, there's a young publisher, publishing group which set out from Croatia and now established in the United States and looking for material dedicated. The head of the consortium happens to be married to a Nigerian. And so he wants to publish Nigerians, and I've already sent a number of names to him, and some of them have sent their manuscripts to him. So it's a very healthy, it's one thing, and this is what saddens me sometimes. This country is so rich in intellectual and creative power. It's not funny. Whether you talk of the sciences, with medical sciences, physics, Nigerians have some experiments going on in NASA. I remember when I was in exile, actually was involved in trying to promote one of the scientific experiments which was initiated by a Nigerian and which was taken into space, etc., etc. So Nigerians really, I think it's one of the reasons some of us have not checked out. It's simply because we look at the rich humanity inside. Frustrated, yes, sometimes even wrong-headed, sometimes contumacious, unnecessarily. I'll lambast your generation all the time, as you know, as ruining social media, fake news, the whole lot, for one night. But at the same time, I remind myself and remind others that there is no nation so rich in intellectual and creative manpower as Nigeria on this continent. Again, one of the criticisms I have of the generation, that when it comes to the crunch, they tend to back down. They tend to join forces with what is established, with the establishment. You can see what happened during the last election when we encouraged the young people to come together and present a consensus candidate. It broke apart, unfortunately. But then you don't give up. You simply do not give up. Nobody seriously, I can tell you, I didn't seriously expect that the candidate which I ended up backing would win at the first round. I mean, let's be practical. But put your foot in that water, test it, and let the ripple effect just take nature's course. Prepare for the next round. Start mobilizing. End SARS was the work of a few young minds, just the same as Not Too Young to Run movement. So you build on each venture, you build on it. The next time you've learned some lessons, you learn some new tricks of the trade. Maybe you've even learned zones of collaboration where you're not swamped, where your vision is not swamped, where you don't jeopardize, you don't bastardize your vision simply because of collaboration. Maybe in the meantime, you've fashioned new strategies. Politics is not 1 year, it's not just one election. I always cite Mitterrand, for instance. Look at how many tries he made before he became president. The president who's there but not there, look at how many tries he also made. And I also cite Lula. I love citing the example of Lula, the trade unionist, We met and I asked him, how did you do it? I met right here when he came to Nigeria. He said, I printed leaflets. I printed leaflets and I stood on street corners and I would distribute. I said, my name is Lula. I would like to run this country. Please ask me any questions you want, but I can very quickly tell you how I intend to do it, but anything you want. And he said, he used to do that, and this multiplied. His supporters took up the same thing. It was hard work, hard slog. When I attempted to float a party at one time, I told them, you must be prepared to ride bicycles, to ride donkeys. This is a zero-kobo party, I told them. I said, it's a zero-kobo party. I don't have anything. The little which I had, I said, that's it. That's the end of the budget. I have nothing more, you know. But this will at least will print you a few papers, that's all. But I had to flee that party when I discovered that many of them came because they thought I was going to stand for president. So I said, oh, if that's why you came to this party, sorry, I'm out. So it's work, it's hard work, creative thinking, and thinking outside the box, outside the normal routine, and persistence. It's got to be hard slog. Hard slog. I remember once when even before this party which I floated, when I supported the candidature of a governor, you know, who did not, and of course he didn't stand a chance of winning, as he did turn out. But my mother-in-law, she said, I vote for him because I know you. So I will vote. I know he won't win, but I'm going to give him my vote. If necessary, use sentimental power now and do what you have to do. But don't think it's going to be easy. The entrenched forces are powerful. Their war chest is enormous. But you have something which they haven't got, and that's freshness of ideas. So use that. Use that. I didn't read the Bible at the age of 12. I read it much younger, at a much younger age, as well as other books. I just loved reading. Anything which had print, I had to read it in any language which I understood. Yoruba or English or broken, whatever, you know, newspapers or whatever. But for me, Christianity, like Islam, is a beautiful mythology. It's all mythology. There's nothing wrong with mythology, especially when a mythology has certain ethical injunctions which benefit humanity. Such mythologies deserve studying, they deserve following, where the precepts are humanistic. And there's no religion, no mythology in the world which is not actually centered basically on human welfare, human well-being, human conduct, you know, ethical proceeding between groups of people. No religion in the world denies that. In fact, all of them, in fact, even preach peace. And yet, it's a history of wars among all of them. All of them, except traditional Yoruba religion. Orisha religion has never fought a war on its behalf. Never. Never a crusade, never a jihad. Believe or not believe. That's it. However, extract from religion what you believe will profit you as a developing human being, a developing entity, a mind of its own. Let me tell you the story as it actually happened. It happened in Chicago. When you direct a play, you know, a real intuitive director who's also a technical man, but also he has to be intuitive. By intuitive, I mean he has to relate on a special level to his team, his company, and so on. Has to understand their problems. If they come late, you've got to discipline them, but at the same time, you don't pretend that you don't understand what may have caused it. And you know what their problems are. This production was of Death and the King's Horseman. And a very difficult production, very complicated. And the Americans, they had a certain style of acting and how to get them out of that style, you know, to be able to express both the theme and the aura of the Yoruba, or that Yoruba piece of history. Right. That I've never been a production which was so beset by accidents. Motor accidents on the way to rehearsal or going back. Accident on stage when we're rehearsing. There was the chief stage manager fell off the rigging one day, right from the top, and that was a very high space. Fortunately for him, he landed just on the edge of the concrete part. The wood, he landed on the wood, literally inches from the concrete. He would have, his spine would have been smashed. All kinds of things. Then I forget what happened to the leading lady, but she came, her arm was in plastic, etc. And it was mostly a black cast, but of course with some white. So it became, for me, not, other people would have said it was a spiritual, that we're under spiritual attack. No, I didn't think so. I just felt that we're doing a play from a culture, a very powerful culture, which in itself, and people were being brought into the deeper aspects of the culture, not what they used to see on cinema and so on. I mean, we had chanting on stage, which used to send the actors into trance. When we began with the drums and everything, they used to go into trances. This is how powerful that whole experience was. Anyway, so what do? I called all of them together. I said, you know, the problem is we're doing a Yoruba play, a culture which believes in sacrifices. And we have not made a sacrifice. I said, that's the trouble. I said, once we make that sacrifice, you'll see, everything will stop. I said, which of you can arrange a goat? And this one said, well, finally, we organized that a goat should be bought. And you know, the good Muslim community, in any case, they kill mutton. So. And I said, we're going to, the last accident on stage was the one which shook me because that man would have smashed his spine. Oh, I forgot to mention that I nearly lost my chin completely. One of them was rehearsing with a baton, a huge baton, the Role Amusa, the policeman. And you know, I was coming just behind the curtain and he took off my goatee, just like that. I actually felt the wind. It would have, my jaw would have been cracked. It was a very powerful man who was playing that role, that Susanna. So anyway, I said, we're going to sacrifice a goat. The management of the theater said, the laws, the last one is the laws, the bylaws of the city did not permit slaughtering a goat outside of the. So I said, okay. I said, Tabarado, Abu de Shebo. I said, can you get me a cockerel? Spotless cockerel, doesn't matter whether brown or white or whatever, big. Can you get it? So they could get it. All right. Again, the management said, well, we could do it on stage. To do it in the yard. I said, no, we have to do it on stage, where most of those accidents were taking place. I said, I tell you what. I said, we'll change the date. Change the date. So officially, we changed the date. I warned the management, don't come near the theater on the original date. So you don't know anything about it. They agreed. So officially, it was to take place on another day. So we killed the cockerel on stage after a long rehearsal at night. And then we killed the goat in the home of one of the black actors and ate it there. But it was a cockerel we actually slaughtered. But you know something? I come to what you're saying. All accidents stopped.